Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today. For this one, we are going to do another channel message, as I've done at various interesting points throughout the channel's history. Now, the one we're going to do today is really quite special actually, because tomorrow, the 31st of July 2023, is actually the 10th anniversary of the very first upload to the channel, which was back on the 31st of July 2013 when I was still living in Aberdeen, which is absolutely crazy to think. And remember, at that time the channel of course was known as Goddard Radio Moscow. So yeah, that was after my team and a joke that we had within that team when I went to the NASA camp in Huntsville in Alabama. That was where that came from. But yeah, that was the channel's name for maybe 2 years or something like that, if I remember correctly, and then we shifted it over to Rampant Lion Reviews, and things have just kind of gone from there. But yeah, it's been absolutely crazy just to see how the channel's grown over the last few years. I mean, we're at 20,000 subscribers now, which is it is kind of crazy. We had those two boosts, of course, from Reddit first, and then from Joyka, and the channel's still kind of growing quite a little bit on the back of those. And yeah, there's more people finding the channel all the time, and it's great to see. But yeah, as I've always said, this whole thing for me started just as a way for me to kind of document the beers that I was trying. I thought I had a unique idea at the time, and I think this was really before Untappd was a big thing as well. And then I found the beer tubing community, who have been awesome. It's been really great to get to know all these guys, you know, especially the English guys, the guys in the Netherlands, and some of the guys in the States, and further afield. The whole beer tuber community just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We're at 3,800 reviews, which again is just an insane number. But yeah, that number will undoubtedly continue to grow, because there are always new breweries to find and new beers to try. So yeah, as I always do with these kind of milestone videos, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you who have supported the channel over the first 10 years. We've got a really great network of beer mules from different countries across Europe, and potentially further afield now as well. And you know, I've met some really cool people through doing both the out and about videos and going to different beer festivals and doing the live streams and things like that. It's an awesome community to be part of. That's the crux of the matter, to be honest with you. But yeah, just to tell you guys of what's actually going to happen over the next little while, as part of a kind of mini celebration for the 10th anniversary of the channel, there's going to be some really interesting beers appearing on the channel. I've got a number of really old school things that I've kept for a good few years for this occasion. We've got some really big beers that have been quite recently released as well, which I was very keen to try. So you'll see a mix of these appearing over the next maybe week or two, something like that on the channel. So keep your eyes peeled for those. And you will also see that we will have some new channel art and things coming up tomorrow. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that, and there'll be a special interview with the artist coming up on the 1st of August. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. So big shout out to the man who made the new artwork as well. Lovely chap. But yeah, a few other things to talk about in this video then, because there are a few things kind of going on. So yeah, one thing that happened was that I finished up at Bishop's Arms in Gustav Adolfs Torg in Malmö. Now, that is kind of an interesting story. I have had a number of questions from the Swedish people that watch the channel about this, and various other people who were regulars in the pub in Malmö. So, as I say, I no longer work there. The whole thing at that pub just imploded, and it was one of the best whiskey pubs and craft beer pubs in the whole of Sweden. But what actually happened with that was that back in February of this year, there was a complaint put in against the manager by pretty much the whole pub team regarding abusive behaviour and things like this. This stemmed from one of our colleagues who quit because she, felt bullied and all of this. and we, the rest of the team were were appalled by what actually happened. And this kind of behaviour from the manager had been going on for absolutely years, and the whole team went to the manager's boss, informed them of this, and they took virtually no action. They actually ended up protecting the manager. That's kind of how it played out. And magically, there were theft allegations made against 3 of my colleagues, one of whom said manager was convinced I was behind the complaints made against them. And magically, the 3 were forced out of the company, and so the rest of us kind of quit in solidarity. That is what happened there. That is the situation that happened at Bishop's Arms Gustav Adolfs Torg in Malmö. The quality of their beer has gone down quite significantly since the team departed. The whiskey range is still there, but I can guarantee you that's going to sit on the shelves for years. But that's just kind of how it goes. That's what happens when you have kind of corporate entities. They don't really, in some ways, they don't really care about the people on the ground who are actually making the money. It's all about kind of protecting the managers and things like that. But then again, in Sweden, you have to remember employment laws in Sweden are very strong. It's very difficult to fire someone. It's very, very difficult to fire someone, even with things like what were going on in our pub. That's just kind of how it goes. That's the story of what happened in Bishop's Arms and Gustav Adolfs Torg in Malmö. And I have no ties to them anymore, and it's a shame because the team that I worked with was awesome. I mean, the guys in the kitchen, Sanju and Yuvi, were awesome, and Samuel a little bit later on as well. In the bar, Alan, Echo, Natalie were great leaders, and Noah and Johan were always really fun to work with as well. Victoria, that was with us for a period of time as well, and then Mr. Sebi, of course, was a big character. I loved all of these guys, and hopefully you can see some of them feature on the channel at some point very, very soon. It was Alan in particular is a huge beer nerd, and I'm sure we'll figure out a way to get him on the channel at some point soon. But that's everything I really need to say about Bishop's Arms. That I love my team members; they were awesome, and you guys will see them on the channel at some point in the future. But as to what is going to happen now on the channel over the next little while, I will be spending a little bit more time in Scotland. And of course, as a result of that, you're going to see a number of Scottish, English and Irish beer reviews, with a few other things thrown in, of course, too. I will travel to the US and spend pretty much all of September there. And you'll see a number of out and about videos filmed over there. We'll see if we can get some sit-down reviews done there too. But I do have some nice plans for brewery visits over there, so fingers crossed everything can all piece together. But then the big piece of news after this is that I am going to relocate to Asia, which is going to be really interesting, of course. We've talked about a whole bunch of other things, but personally, the most important thing for me at the moment is to be close to my son. So I'm going to be relocating to Asia. The exact location at the moment is still a little bit kind of up in the air, but I'm sure you'll find out in due course exactly where I've relocated to. But very, very excited about that. Obviously, there are a number of emerging breweries out in Asia that are doing some really, really good stuff. Japan, as we know, has a very strong beer scene. The Koreans are at it. The Taiwanese, Hong Kong, as well, has a great beer scene. But Southeast Asia is producing some very, very interesting stuff these days too. So that's what we're going to explore on the channel over the next few years, and you guys can look forward to seeing that here on Rampant Lion Reviews. Of course, being out there will give me easier access to Australia and New Zealand as well. I'll go back and visit my family in Australia. We'll see about visiting Mr. Sam Smalley in Victoria as well. I would love to meet him. He's been on a number of live streams on the channel, and it makes the west coast of the US and Canada a little bit more accessible as well. So that's something that we'll definitely be looking at. But personally, for me, there's a few places I would like to travel to. India, and Nepal are at the top of the list at the moment. Singapore, I would like to go and see. Hawaii, and yeah, the American West Coast and things like that. But we'll see how that goes. You know, having a young child makes that a little bit more difficult and things. But yeah, the priority is, of course, to spend time with him and enjoy watching him grow up. And from a personal perspective, in the last over the course of this year, since the kind of turn of the year, if you like, things between his mother and I have gotten a lot better, and basically I can kind of see him whenever I like, and that's the idea behind going out to Asia, relocating out there, is to make it a lot easier to see him. So yeah, I'm still figuring out a few things in that regard, which is kind of why I didn't lead with that in the video. But yeah, I think you guys now have an idea of what's going to be happening on the channel over the next little while. So some interesting Scottish and Irish things, a bunch of American stuff, and then yeah, a lot of Asian videos. In terms of uploads as well, I should mention we do have a number of out and about videos that I filmed in England with the guys when I was down there for Harry Meadows of Blue Nose Beer Reviews 30th, and also Billy Ragg of Raggy's Ales, Wines and Spirits Reviews, or Beers, Wines and Spirits Reviews, I forget his exact channel name, but yeah, we've got a bunch of videos that we filmed in Bristol and Nottingham and places like this, so you'll see those. I still need to edit together the ones from Hong Kong, and I still need to get my my phone fixed and things like that. So yeah, I will be looking into the technology of the channel too going forward, but we now have a very nice microphone to do out and about videos with as well. So yeah, I think going forward as well, potentially there will be less sit-down reviews, and we'll focus a little bit more on the kind of out and about videos and brewery interviews and stuff like that. But yeah, the sit-down reviews will never disappear, but yeah, we need to see how things go moving forward. But yeah, I think that's everything I really wanted to say in this 10th anniversary channel message. Of course, if you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below, and I'll answer those for you. But again, I want to thank you all for your support over the first 10 years of Rampant Lion Reviews, and we'll see what the next 10 years brings us, because the channel will never stop, I will say that right now. But yeah, thank you again for watching. A massive thank you to all of you who have watched, sent me beer, been beer mules, met up with me at beer festivals, shown me around your respective home cities and things like that. It's been a pleasure, and long may it continue. But until the next time, Slàinte, Skål, cheers, check out my social media. This is going to be the beer you will see reviewed tomorrow. I've got the bottle sitting there. I'm going to go and share the rest of it with my dad just now. So yeah, till the next time, see you guys later, and I hope you enjoy the series, the mini-series of 10th anniversary reviews. Some really, really cool stuff coming up. Slàinte, Skål, and cheers.